They call him the godfather of rap, but that's kind of like saying James Baldwin wrote some nice essays. Gil Scott-Heron wasn't trying to start a movement. He was trying to make sense of one. In this video, we're diving into Pieces of a Man, Gil Scott-Heron's first LP, a record that feels like a time capsule of anger, hope, exhaustion, and genius. It's part jazz, part poetry, part protest, and all truth. If you ever listened to "The Revolution Will Not Be Televised" and thought, wait, what exactly is this man trying to say? Well, you're about to find out. Gil Scott-Heron came up in the late 60s, a time when America started trying to prove that it wasn't racist while literally setting cities on fire. He was born in Chicago, raised in Tennessee by his grandmother, and then moved to New York. His mother was a librarian. His father was a Jamaican soccer player, and Gil was one of those kids who saw too much too young. He studied at Lincoln University, the same place the poet Langston Hughes went, and you can feel that legacy all over this record. Gil was the rare poet who didn't need a classroom or a podium. He wanted to take poetry off the stage and drop it into real life with a bass line behind it. By the time Pieces of a Man came out in 1971, he had already released Small Talk at 125th and Lenox, a stripped down spoken word album with The Revolution Will Not Be Televised. But this time, he brought in a full band, and not just any band. Bernard Pretty Purdy was on drums. Ron Carter, the jazz musician, was on bass. And Hubert Laws on flute. Serious jazz chops there. That's what makes this record so hypnotic. It grooves even when the message hurts. Here's the thing. Pieces of a Man wasn't made for comfort. Most of the soul and R&B protest albums of that era, Marvin Gaye's What's Going On, Curtis Mayfield's Superfly, tried to make the message go down smooth. But Gil Scott-Heron didn't care about smooth. He wanted you to squirm a little. This was a man trying to describe what it felt like to live in a country that promised equality, but mostly delivered despair. Take The Revolution Will Not Be Televised. Everybody quotes it. Few actually listen to the lyrics. It's not a call to violence. It's a reminder that change doesn't happen in front of the TV set. You can't watch a revolution. You have to be the revolution. The humor's pretty sharp too. He name drops everyone from Natalie Wood to Spiro Agnew, mocking how consumer culture had replaced actual awareness. It's a roast of America's distractions. And it's still relevant 50 years later because it's pretty much like that nowadays too. Then there's Home is Where the Hatred Is. This song doesn't pull punches. It's about addiction, yeah, but also about the feeling of being trapped by poverty, by racism, by hopelessness. When Gil sings, "You say kick it, quit it, but God, did you ever try to turn your sick soul inside out?" That's not poetry, that's an open wound. Lady Day and John Coltrane is the flip side. It's joy through pain, the way art keeps people alive when the world keeps trying to break them down into tiny little pieces. He's talking about using music as a medicine, like, I can't fix my life, but this song might help me make it through the night. Musically, it's all warmth and melancholy. Brian Jackson's Fender Rhodes electric piano is like a heartbeat under Gil's voice. Steady, human, tired, but still hopeful. The title track, Pieces of a Man, is where it all comes together. It's about a son watching his father lose his job, his dignity, and his sense of self. The world doesn't end with a bang. It ends with a layoff. And for a lot of Black people in the 70s, that was the revolution. Not on the street, but in the living room with bills to pay and no seeming way out. That's where Gil Scott-Heron's genius shows up. He doesn't yell, he observes. He turns everyday pain into universal poetry. Pieces of a Man isn't just about being Black in America. It's about being human when the system around you keeps dehumanizing you. Looking back, this record feels like the blueprint for everything from hip hop to neo soul to conscious R&B. Public Enemy, Kendrick Lamar, The Roots, and even Kanye West. They all borrowed from Gil's mix of groove and truth-telling. But here's the wild part. Pieces of a Man still sounds fresh because the problems that Gil sang about haven't gone away. They've probably gotten worse. Listening to it now, you realize this wasn't just one man's story. It was the sound of America cracking open and saying out loud what everyone else was afraid to admit. If this album teaches us anything, it's that we've got to stop talking at each other and start listening. Every person's experience, every piece of their story is valid. So maybe start there and listen. There's only one world for us to live in, and we've got to do a better job about living in it together. Thank you so much for watching. If this resonated with you or if you enjoyed it, please consider liking and subscribing. It helps my channel and it doesn't cost anything. And it'll help make my channel better. Once again, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.